Of course, we're all worried about economic growth. South Africa's economy shrunk 51% in the second quarter of this year. But the finance minister now tweeting about a different kind of growth. Let's get the latest from our reporter, Michael Morelia. Good evening, Michael. So, look, we know that agriculture was the only sector, really, to do fairly well during this terrible quarter. But just talk me through exactly what Tito Mboweni is up to on social media.
Yeah, Sally, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. This came out at about 2:30 this afternoon. This was 3 hours after those GDP figures came out. And we know that the minister can be quite naughty, full of mischief, very much tongue-in-cheek. And this was his tweet, growing weed legally, and two pictures there of what appears to be marijuana, doing pretty well, Sally. I guess there's lots of water in that part of the world. It's not clear where this weed was growing, whether it was in fact the minister's weed or anybody else. Maybe he just snapped a picture on the side of the road. Who are we to judge? But that was the tweet, Sally, and I have to say quite a response on Twitter. Let's take a look at some of the tweets. TT was not having any of it, saying, Minister, the economy contracted by 51% last quarter. Emojis, emojis, emojis. Clearly not impressed, thinking the minister should have his priorities somewhere else. But Cleopatra was a lot more supportive. Let's bring up her tweet, saying, I hope you don't use it as an ingredient when you cook, sir. It would explain a lot. However, clearly she knows all about the minister's cooking posts, and it seems he has gone from pilchards to pot, Sally. Let's move on. On that note, very quickly, Shamani, short and sweet, saying minister is high, calling it like it is, at least as he thinks it is. Let's move on to our next one very quickly. And a lot of cooking references coming in here, Sally. Fritz saying he put the green stuff in his pilchards to fight COVID. That's why he's so outspoken against his comrades surfing the clouds. And from cooking, also a few references to politics. Let's move on to that. This tweet I thought quite funny. Next up, brownies, Tito style. Obviously, he's got the cooking done and dusted. Maybe a little bit of baking on the side. Who knows? Let's move on to our next one quickly from Johanna. I think this is where the politics comes in, saying maybe the minister needs some weed for those cabinet meetings because it does have a calming effect. I'll take your word for that, Johan. Let's move on to our next tweet very quickly. And this one got quite interesting, Sally. These guys seem to think that they're actually economists. Your boy T saying the economic boost from decriminalizing this would be immense. Post-Truth says, hey, Tito's tax deficit will be smashed in 2 years. We know that we have a massive deficit, Sally. So who knows? Maybe this is the answer. At least Twitter seems to think so. Let's finish up with a few more tweets very quickly. Aldrin saying, Minister, just a hint, water them with Epsom salt water. Of course, Tito is famous for taking tips. Remember before the budget, he asked South Africans to give him a few pointers. And it seems when it comes to dope, it's exactly the same policy. And finally, Sally, this one coming up in a second from Ivenda Lasemblazi saying, be careful, Minister. Later it will be the weed tweeting you and not you tweeting about the weed. So, yeah, easy does it, Mr. Mboweni. You might get in trouble with your boss sometime soon.
You know, I think one of the tweets that you showed a little earlier, your boy T, talking about the economic potential of wheat crops. We've seen in Lesotho, they really are capitalizing. Here in South Africa, perhaps the minister is going to announce a massive project to start commercially growing marijuana for medical reasons, and that will boost our economy and our agriculture. I'm trying to find something serious out of, you know, they're very entertaining, but the reality is this is a really worrying, serious set of data that has come out. And it seems that our Minister of Finance is not saying anything about that and focusing on growing weed. I mean, it's bizarre, let's just say.
Yeah, it is very bizarre. One thing that Tito Mboweni is very good at doing is getting people talking.
Indeed.
And provoking ideas and responses. Who knows, maybe he does it to gauge sentiment amongst South Africans. As I said, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry when I saw it. I chose to laugh because there's not much else to laugh about these days.
And thank you for that.
But, yeah, we have invented a term, Sally, just to get us through the next tweet from Tito. When you tweet about weed, you are tweeding.
Oh, no.
So we're going with that for the time being. Yeah, we'll see what he has to say. We'll see what he has to say in his next tweet. Hopefully he'll focus a little bit more on the economy this time.
Yeah, enough tweeting, I think, for now.
Enough tweeting. Thanks, Tito. Enough tweeting.
Thank you very much.